Episode 12, OT Disaster Recovery Planning: How to Rebuild When Everything is Gone. Most OT sites do not have a tested disaster recovery plan. They have a backup schedule and a hope. In this episode, we cover how to build an OT disaster recovery plan that actually works when you need it most. Start with a simple question: what is the worst-case scenario? Not a server crash. Not a ransomware event. What if your DCS controller configuration is corrupted, your historian data is gone, and your engineering workstations are wiped? How long would it take to restore operations? What would be permanently lost? If you cannot answer those questions, your plan is not ready. Define your recovery tiers first. Tier 0, systems that must be restored within hours, safety systems, critical PLCs, basic control loops. Tier 1, systems that must be restored within days, HMI servers, historian, SCADA servers. Tier 2, everything else, can wait weeks without stopping production. For each Tier 0 system, document exactly what you need to recover it. The current configuration backup for every PLC and RTU. The last known good image for engineering workstations. The firmware and software versions for every controller, not just where to download it, but that you have it. Vendor support contracts and escalation contacts with actual phone numbers, not just email. This documentation is your recovery Bible. If it is not written down, it does not exist. Now address the backup problem. Most OT sites back up PLC configurations manually, inconsistently, or not at all. Automate PLC and RTU configuration backups. Capture config changes every time a download occurs. Store backups in at least 2 locations, one of which is offline. Test your backups quarterly by restoring to a spare device or lab environment. A backup that has never been tested is not a backup. For historian and server recovery, understand your RPO and RTO. RPO: how much data can you afford to lose? 1 hour? 1 day? 1 week? RPO determines your backup frequency. RTO: how long can operations be down before the impact becomes unacceptable? RTO determines how much investment you put into fast recovery infrastructure. For a continuous process plant, RTO for Tier 0 systems is measured in hours, not days. Build a recovery site or at least a recovery kit. A recovery kit is a hardened laptop with all necessary software, firmware, licensing documents, and configuration backups. It should be ready to deploy at a moment's notice. Include the network diagrams that show how everything connects. Without those diagrams during recovery, you will guess wrong, and guessing wrong costs time. Test your disaster recovery plan at least once a year. Not a tabletop. An actual functional test. Restore a Tier 0 PLC from backup to a spare device and validate it operates correctly. Restore a historian server from backup and validate data continuity. Time the exercise and compare against your RTO targets. If recovery takes 3 days and your RTO target is 8 hours, you have a gap. 3 wins this week. 1. Identify your 3 most critical PLCs and verify their configuration backups exist and are stored offline. 2. Document the exact recovery procedure for your most important historian, step by step, including where to find licensing keys. 3. Schedule a functional disaster recovery test for 1 Tier 0 system within the next 60 days. If you want the OT disaster recovery plan template, comment recovery.